So can you remember the first time that you had a swimming lesson when you were younger?
I'm not sure about remembering the first time, but I can remember my swimming lessons and jumping in the pool, being made to swim down the pole, touch the bottom of the pool, pick things up off the bottom, doing loads of things like that. And then from there I kind of just loved the water and loved to get in it even from a young age when I was learning.
Yeah, and sort of like what age was it when you decided that you were going to take it up sort of professionally?
It was like a natural progression really, and I mean my first national championships was at 11 years old, and ever since then I knew I wanted to compete at like a high level, so I guess kind of like at 11 was when I really started.
And can you just like run us through your, obviously we've seen a bit of your training today, but can you just run us through your daily and sort of weekly routines as well, like do you have rest days and things like that?
Okay, so Sunday is a rest day, pretty much every other day we're training.
Okay.
We do around 30 hours a week, and a typical day would start off at 4:45. I'd get up, quickly come to the pool. I'd be on poolside for about 5:10. Then I train from 5:10 until 8:30ish in the mornings, and then I'd go back, have a sleep, get up, do some uni work, then come back in at about 2 o'clock. Then I'd do gym from 2 till 4. Then I'd be in the pool again from 4 to about 6:30.
So can you just like run us through your diet a bit? Like obviously you must have to be quite strict with yourself on what you eat and how healthy you are.
It varies. We have a cheat day each week,
Okay.
me and all the guys that I train with. But pretty much outside that cheat day we'll eat, we'll get all our proteins in, vitamins in, we have protein shakes, recovery shakes after each session, salads for tea each night, salad wraps for lunch, breakfast normally a bit more carbs, so we'll have porridge and then loads of fruit around that and veg. So all pretty healthy stuff, but we enjoy eating healthy. On our cheat day we sort of get whatever we're craving, because our body obviously needs that type of food.
Okay.
So that'll be on normally a Saturday afternoon.
Okay. And what do you study at Plymouth Uni? What made you choose what you studied for?
I'm studying psychology at the moment at Plymouth Uni, and I kind of really wanted to keep my options open about what I want to do after I finish it. And I was always really interested in the area of psychology, and I looked at Plymouth Uni courses, and psychology was a course that really caught my eye, and it seemed really interesting. So,
And then how's the uni sort of accommodated for you with the training programme and things like that? Like, have they
The
been
uni have been amazing in accommodating my training around my degree. They've helped me through splitting my years, taking gap year into the London Olympics, and with work they'd always be happy to meet if I was had any trouble with work or anything like that. So they've been absolutely amazing in terms of supporting me around my studies, and also financially through the scholarship programme. They've been able to help me buy equipment, get me to competitions, travelling expenses. So they have been pretty amazing.
And what's like your main motivation for getting up every single day and doing what you do on a daily basis?
I think I'm a really, really competitive person, so I always live to compete and I love to compete. So kind of like just doing that, and then racing in the major meets, Europeans, Commonwealth Games, Worlds and Olympics, it just gives you that extra edge and that extra buzz to get up and do my training.
Okay. What aspect of your training do you enjoy other than just being in water? What's like your one thing that you like to do?
In training, to be honest, it's kind of like I've got a group of about 10 to 13 guys, and we train with each other day in, day out, and they're all my best friends, we're all brothers, and we spend literally all our lives together. So training's really fun because you got all those guys that you train with that like can push you on and push them on and stuff.
Okay, do you have any pre-race routines?
Pre-race routines?
Yeah.
So what we do before races, there's normally a call room, which is where all the swimmers gather and we sort of get ourselves prepped before we go to our race. So I'll go through like a physiological warm-up. So I'll get in the pool, I'll do some swimming, warm my body up, And then in the core room, it's all about preparing yourself mentally for the race. So for me, I mean, everyone's different, but personally, I sit in the core room and go through my race in my head. So that by the time I get on the blocks to race, I've already done the race in my head so many times, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Right,
I just have to do it.
Okay, cool. And what sort of opportunities has swimming given you? Sort of, have you managed to get to go to sort of amazing places and do amazing things because of the swimming? Or?
Yeah, swimming, it's given me like some amazing experiences. The London Olympics was one of the craziest experiences in my life. We travelled so much. I've been to pretty much every European country. Then outside of Europe, I've been to Japan, China, India, Canada, Qatar. It's a lot of travelling and with amazing people as well, with all your best friends and stuff. So it's I'm very blessed to have such an amazing lifestyle that I live.
Okay, so you said about London 2012. What's been your like ultimate highlight of your swimming career so far? Was it the Olympics in London, or?
To be honest, there's been so many. The moment that I found out I was going to London was a pretty surreal moment. That's pretty amazing. Winning medals at Commonwealth Games was pretty amazing too. Breaking British records is always good. So there's a lot of highlights.
And like, what's next for you? What are you currently training towards right now? Or?
So short term, my goals are Commonwealth Games in Glasgow this summer. We've got trials for that in April, so just training hard towards that. Long term, Rio Olympics. I really want to go to another Olympics, so long term that would be mine.
And you're sort of the same question, but sort of where do you see yourself in sort of 5 to 10 years' time?
Well, at the moment, I'm pretty set on retiring after Rio.
Okay.
And then I'll be out into the wide world. I'll have my degree from Plymouth Uni. I'll finish my swimming career. Possibly go into something to do with psychology, or maybe travel a bit and just have some time to myself, because obviously I train so much right now. I don't really have much time to myself, so maybe after finishing swimming.
Cool. Okay, so about the fact that you've got not much time to yourself, your social life must be sort of quite dramatic, but you said that you train with all of like your best friends and stuff, so do you feel like, I mean, do you resent it ever at all, or because you're training with your friends you don't really see a difference?
No, I never ever regret anything that my life that I lead, because yes, I'm not leading the typical student life, going out a lot and socialising, but at the same time I've had so many amazing experiences, and I train with my brothers and best friends, so it's kind of like a win-win situation for me. I'll be in like 5 minutes maybe.
And why do you think that Plymouth in particular produces such great water sportsmen and women?
I think it's the setup, the life centre that they've got here is pretty amazing, world-class facilities, and then we've got such amazing support circles in terms of our sports science. We've got Plymouth Uni that help us a lot, Plymouth College, which get the kids in and through the system. So the whole system and setup is based towards sporting excellence, and it's really providing that.
Cool. Back in 2010, the government sort of acts lots of swimming schemes for young children and things like that. So how do you feel? How do you feel about that, and how much do you think it's important for a child to sort of grow up with sport in their life and competitiveness and things like that?
I think it's really important for kids to grow up, and not necessarily. Obviously, every child it's a key like learning skill for them to swim. But for me, I think if any child can get involved in a sport or something that they're good at, it really helps them excel through life and gives them additional opportunities. For me, through my swimming, I've been able to travel the world, meet all these amazing people, do these amazing things. For another child, it might be art, it might be maths, it could be another sport. Whatever it is, I'd say to children is get involved in that sport, or whatever you love and whatever you're good at. Do it to the best of your ability, and like there's 100%, I'm 100% certain that new opportunities will open up as a result of that.
Okay, so that's all my big questions. So I'm just going to do some quick fire questions just for fun. What other hobbies do you have other than swimming?
So I go out with and socialise, have meals with all the guys that I train with. Pretty much just chilling out. We sleep a lot.
Yeah.
Outside swimming. It sounds really boring, but we go back and we sleep a lot.
I don't blame you.
We all love food, and I like to go running as well.
Okay. So that was my other question. Is there any other sports that you're interested in, either as a spectator or sort of
Yeah, I like to
getting
follow
involved with?
athletics. When I was younger, I had a choice to go into swimming or athletics, and I chose swimming over athletics. But I still follow athletics, and I like to go on runs occasionally.
Is there a particular aspect of the athletics that you were?
I was kind of like an all-rounder. I kind of did
Okay,
everything.
cool. You've been to a lot of countries. What country next would you love to visit?
Australia. That's the one I haven't been to. The big one I haven't been to, and I'd love to go there. So if the opportunity comes up to go there, then yeah, definitely go.
Cool. And the best place you've been to out of everywhere you've been?
Plymouth. They're so. India's a pretty crazy place. It's like their whole lifestyle, their culture is just complete contrast to what we have over here. Like we were on the motorway driving towards a pool one day, and this is on a motorway. I saw a guy cycling with his wife sat behind him and his kid on his lap with a ladder across the bike. It could taking up 3 lanes and cars are swerving around him. So that's just like a snapshot of India there.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Well, when I was younger, and obviously with swimming, I always wanted to compete in the Olympics. That was my childhood dream, and I got to 22 and I achieved that. So it's pretty crazy achieving a childhood dream at the age of 22.
That's awesome. And your favourite subject at school?
Probably PE, because I was good at this.
Have you had an embarrassing moment in your swimming career?
Well, I'm not sure whether this should go in the paper, but we get drugs tested quite a bit, and the process of drugs testing, for those that don't know, is you have to wee in a pot, but they have to make sure the urine comes from you.
Okay.
So pretty much most competitions, internationals we go to, a random old guy will come up to us and say, "Oh, you've been selected for drugs testing," and we have to go stand in a
Is it any time of the day?
Yeah. They could turn up now and ask me.
Okay.
You have to go stand in a really cramped toilet. Normally it's sort of this big, and he stood beside you, and they have to make sure it comes from you. So they stood watching you wee into a pot, effectively. So yeah, that's probably pretty embarrassing, but we get used to it after a while.
Nice. Okay, 3 things that you take to a desert island.
To a desert island, I'll take my bed. Well, whenever I get asked this question, I always like a boat, so I could sail away, but kind of cheating, I guess. It's not
That's
very.
a good answer, though. I've never heard that one.
Surely you don't need a boat, you can swim.
Yeah, I could swim it, yeah. I would take, definitely a bed, my best friend, Rita Melitita, the Olympic gold medalist, and I would take, what would I take? Fruit. Limited supply of fruit.
Okay, and last question. Finish sentence. I'm most happy when.
Swimming.
Sorry. Nice.
I've got just a couple of quick questions.
Yeah.
Relationships. How does your swimming affect relationships?
It's not. It helps them.
Yeah.
No, it's not too bad because often when you're in an environment like this, you meet people that are very similar people to you.
Yeah.
So in terms of relationships, it actually does help you form longer lasting relationships because you meet people that are like-minded and they have the same lifestyle as you. So people think it limits them because you don't socialise as much, but in a way it helps them because.
Yeah. I can turn the camera off if you want, but an honest answer. Tom Daley
Yeah.
is a celebrity now.
Yeah.
How do you being an Olympian as well, and the spotlight being on him?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you does it annoy you? Do you prefer that, and you just can just get on with your own sports, or what? Everybody, when you say Olympian from Plymouth, Tom Daley's comes to mind, but you're an Olympian. You've got others here.
Yeah.
What's your feelings on that?
To be honest, we're happy that Plymouth is getting that level of recognition from Tom.
Yeah.
We're never envious of. For us, if one of the guys races amazing and does amazing, we're never ever envious of them doing that because it brings from a financial standpoint, it brings more money into Plymouth, so it's better for us and we all benefit. From the other standpoints, it's good because it's getting more kids into sport, more recognition for sport, more recognition for Plymouth. So no, we're never ever. There's never any bad feelings if someone's doing amazing. It's kind of like everyone's like, yes, you're doing amazing, rather than I'm not doing amazing.
taken away from that, not to say you don't do amazing, you went to Olympics,
Yeah.
fantastic thing. But he walks down High Street, he gets the credit.
Yeah.
If you walk down the High Street, do you
Yeah.
get a lot of people recognising you, or do you what do you get?
Yeah, sometimes to a certain extent. And like Plymouthians are very proud of Plymouth.
Yeah.
So whenever someone's doing great for Plymouth, they're always quick to recognise you and recognise your achievements, which is pretty amazing. And I mean, in the swimming world, I'm pretty well known, or in British swimming, pretty well known. So there's that. But in a way, it's a blessing because it means I can get my head down and carry on doing what I want and train hard without having the hassle that Tom has on a daily basis.
Can you walk down the Plymouth High Street and just go into any shop you want without getting that hassle, or do you get people coming up to you asking for autographs? And
I mean, sometimes, but it's more of a rare occasion. Obviously, Tom struggles to walk down the street without that.
Yeah.
And like Ruta, when she's back in Lithuania, she can't walk down High Street without getting mobbed, which is why it's good over here for her. She can get her head down, she can train, do her schoolwork.
and last question for me, social life. As I going out drinking, do you get to experience that a lot with your strict training, or what do you do? I know I've been out with Tom Daly. Daly's, and I know he's got training. Do you get the opportunity to go out a lot and stuff?
We do. If and when we do go out, it's very rare that we'll drink any alcohol. Normally we'll drive, or we'll go around to one of the lads' house and have like a lads' night at a house. But after a major meet, we'll all have like a few big nights out, and then we'll catch up for everything that we've missed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, because we're so dedicated to our swimming and our training, we never really crave going out and getting drunk.